Welcome travelers, Flowcat here. We did our Itto summons last night and they went pretty well. The stream wasn't going too well, there was a bunch of lag. To fix that lag, I upgraded my internet, so next stream that shouldn't be an issue. I also have a feeling it was partially YouTube's fault because everyone was online streaming at the same time summoning. I think next time I might wait until the banner's been out for a couple hours before I hop on and stream my summons. That way the servers don't get overloaded on YouTube's end. With all that being said, today is just a first impressions video for Itto. It's unscripted, it's not going to be super crazy in depth or anything like that, but it's just going to be going through what I've done so far, what I think of him, and Gorou as well. Let's get into it. Alright, here we are in game. First of all, I just wanted to show my Itto. I have him up to C2. I got very lucky on my summons. I'm super thankful, as many of the people in the Flowcat fam did. I also have R1, the Redhorn Stone Thresher. I'm running him on a 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dream set, and these are his stats. It's not too shabby for my first day with him, but you know, it could use some work. He's at 767 for his talents. What I plan to do, since I have to farm the perpetual mechanical array for Gorou, I'm going to talk about Itto and Gorou a little bit as I farm for the perpetual mechanical array. And every time I fight it, I will activate one of these constellations and then let you know what I think about it. But just before I even get started, let's just go through a couple things real quick. C1 is definitely the best constellation out of the first two. Lately, they've been redesigning constellations so that the first couple are the ones that are like top tier. I think that C1, if you want to whale for him, is a sizable upgrade to his kit. It allows you to do more charged attacks during his ult, which just means more damage and less downtime spent building stacks. At first glance, this constellation seems really wonderful, but it's not as good as you would think. Itto doesn't have much downtime, and if you run him with a battery, then he doesn't need the extra energy that you get from this constellation. My Gorou is not too built yet. I'm running him on Favonius Bow, as well as an Archaic Petra set. Why Archaic Petra? Because I'm running him with Kokomi in this team, so I can use Gorou to buff my Itto as well as my Kokomi. It's a pretty fun combo. That'll lead into me talking about my team. I'm running Kokomi, Gorou, Albedo, and Itto. You may be wondering why I'm running a healer with Gorou since I have him at C6 and his C4 is healing. Well, it's not really a lot of healing, especially since I don't have him built yet. So I'm thinking that it's probably good to have Kokomi in there, especially because if I'm fighting Geo enemies, the new set does physical damage and she does hydro damage. Even though Geo enemies are immune to Geo, they're not immune to physical damage and they're not immune to hydro damage. It gives me an alternate option when I feel like I might like hit a wall or something. I've been really enjoying this team while playing around with it. It's super easy to trigger Archaic Petra with Gorou, so it's easy to get the buff for Kokomi. Okay, so this is just gonna be C0 Itto. I'm gonna go through my standard rotation here and show you the damage. You'll see that I'm hitting pretty hard and I'm not even all that well built yet. I know that I'm not playing like the most optimized gameplay right now, but that's not really the point of this video anyway. Just kind of show you like what his strength is like at a base level. And now I'll show you what this Archaic Petra does. So yeah, you can kind of see why I like the split DPS between Kokomi and Itto, because if Itto's ult is down, I can swap over to Kokomi, trigger Archaic Petra, and then boom, I've got a second DPS window that I can access. It's pretty nice. I really like this team. I was thinking about it before release, but I wasn't quite sure how well it would work. I'm loving it so far. Also, Kokomi really helps with proccing Albedo's passive damage as well. A couple things about Gorou before we jump into the second fight where I activate Itto's C1. I just wanted to say that his kit is really cool. It kind of reminds me of how Benny works. You can run Benny on whatever set and it doesn't really affect his buffing capabilities. It's the same thing with Gorou. It's even better though, because his stats don't affect his buffing at all, except for his ease level, which will increase the amount of defense you get, and this passive talent, which increases party members' base defense by 25% after he uses his ult. So you can build him on Husk, Archaic Petra, Noblesse. You can honestly run him on a rainbow set, and you might not notice that much of a difference. As far as weapons, I recommend an ER weapon. If you have C2 Itto, you don't need the energy from Gorou running on a Favonius Warbow. So you can switch to something that does a little more DPS, like maybe a Viridescent Venerer or something like that. But yeah, I really like how versatile Gorou is. His kit seems so simple, but it adds a lot of utility, and the fact that he can run Archaic Petra adds buffing capabilities to his kit, which is really cool. Alright, for the next round I'm going to activate Itto's C1, which should give me more superlative super strength stacks while I fight this guy. So I'll start out with Itto and bring him down to the second state, and then I'll use Kokomi to finish him off. So I'm definitely noticing that I'm able to get more charge attacks off. I feel like I was able to get a lot of damage in. I did Albedo's burst correctly this time. Alright, and so for the second phase, what I'm gonna do is attack this guy a few times, drop that, pick up that, drop that, go into the burst, and it's DPS City. Yeah, good luck blocking that new set, buddy. And Itto finishing it off strong. Heck yeah. I wanted to say that his playstyle reminds me a lot like Xiao. This new Geo team takes a lot of investment because of Gorou and Albedo. Even though Itto is kind of strong by himself, if you want a Xiao style hypercarry DPS that doesn't jump up and down a bunch, then Itto is your guy. That being said, that actually brings up something I wanted to talk about, which is Xiao versus Itto, because I hear rumors that maybe somewhere in the near future, Xiao might come back. I mean, we got him for Lantern Rite last year, so you think Lantern Rite this year, it's like his holiday, right? If you're thinking to yourself, should I get Itto or should I get Xiao? I want to propose a couple different situations for you. If you're free to play, I think Xiao is the better option because he doesn't need a super fancy signature weapon, and his supports are really easy to get, like Sucrose. Whereas Itto takes a lot of investment because of Gorou being a new unit, and his DPS really does get buffed up a bunch by his new weapon. The other scenario is if you're like a light spender or a whale. If you're a light spender, I think Itto is the go-to because his first two constellations have so much value, especially the first one, having just tried it out. It increases the amount of DPS you can output in your burst by a lot. C2 will help with downtime. It's like quality of life, basically making sure that you always have your ult up. But Xiao's first two constellations are really bad. They're not that helpful at all. They're completely unnecessary for his kit, and they don't really make him that much better as a unit. Now, for my Giga Whales out there, I don't know if anyone's tested C6 Itto versus C6 Xiao yet, but I have a feeling that C6 Xiao still will come out on top, but at that point, everything dies, so it doesn't matter. Am I right? I'm right. Okay, so we're gonna activate the second constellation and go for the next round against a perpetual mechanical array. I'm super excited to try this out. I wonder if this time I will even have to use Kokomi as a DPS, or if I can just use Itto for the entire fight. Well, missing with the cow was pretty bad. Let's try that again. Oh yeah, that's rough. I probably should have canceled out of that. Okay, so he almost has his ult back already. And then I just wait for this guy to pop up. Boom. This is without Gorou's buff. Just to give you an idea of how much Gorou buffs him up. Still good damage though, for real. Like, even without Gorou, he's hitting pretty hard. But yeah, Itto is such a Giga Chad. I love him. And the new Geo squad is a lot of fun. If you have Gorou, he's kind of like an all-round support that you can use for Noelle as well as other Geo characters. And he's very flexible considering you can run him on a variety of sets. You can even run him on Noblesse to support Ningguang. And then for Itto, I actually am getting a lot of vibes similar to Zhao from the way his kit plays and the way he plays in general as a unit. So if you know anything about the way Zhao plays and the way he feels as a unit, that should give you an idea of what it'll be like to use C2 Itto. If you want him to be a continuous main DPS, then C2 R1 I think is the bottleneck for strength. Anything beyond that is just completely unnecessary. If you want to use him as like a burst or sub DPS, that's also a possibility. You could throw him on a team, swap in burst, do a bunch of charge attacks, and you don't even have to finish his ult. You could just swap off after that because it's a huge DPS loss once you're done charge attacking. But yeah, that'll bring us to the end of the video. I just wanted to give you guys my first impressions on Itto. He's great. I like him a lot. I think that anyone that wants to pursue a Geo meta can rely on him as a pretty good DPS. I will cover him more as a unit as well as Gorou in the future, but speaking of that, I'm actually going to start working on my new series. Usually I don't release a video on Thursdays, so tonight and tomorrow, which is Thursday for me, I'm going to construct the first video of my new series in which I will go over every single unit that I have. I'll tell you how I like to build them, what teams I like to use them in, what kind of artifacts I think are useful, weapons. We'll go over pretty much everything that I think is useful for them. It won't be the most meta guide, there won't be a lot of math. It'll just be me giving you as much streamlined information as I can. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and I appreciate all the support. My community's growing, the Discord's becoming more active, and it's just making me really happy to see, not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to the future of this channel and to everything Genshin Impact. Make sure to leave a comment down below, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, stay healthy, stay hydrated, peace.